that's certainly a question. The fact that we won 8 games before, we won 5. Sure. I mean, that's always going to be an issue. But I think the people have been around El Paso, know Mike and value him. And remember, the people who have been around remember what it was like before. Remember how embarrassing it was and how we weren't competitive. And now we have the facilities, we have good coaches, and we're working real hard to try and be more challenging at the top level. Well, I think there's a perception right now that tailgate's been killed. Tailgate's been killed. That's really not true. But I think there's some things we need to do to bring back the atmosphere of tailgating at the university and the fun on campus. Because even a year ago, the early games of Mexico State stuff, driving through campus, I mean, it's just alive, and the parking lots are alive, and this is what we want. This is what we want at our campus. We want to have fun. We don't want people getting drunk and having crimes and fights. We avoid all the dangerous stuff, but we want people to feel like this is a fun place to go on Saturdays. But we haven't set all the rules yet. But the thing is, we want to say next year tailgate is going to be back. Okay. Well, that's another issue. I think coming the season, if we all would have voted, will we take 5 wins? We ought to raise our hands because we've lost all those really good players that have been here for 4 years. We had a lot of new players coming in. How they were going to be, we really didn't know. So I think we found ourselves in the last game with a chance to go to a bowl game and say, wow, we never expected to be here. So I think that in regards, again, I think we really have some really talented young players coming back next year, especially in offense. And we've redshirted some, and I know that we have a large contingent of recruits already. So I think that we'll be a real solid team next year. We've got a tough schedule, but I think we're going to have a real exciting team next year. I met with Mike several times, and I met with Dr. Natalicio, and what I always do is present all the information on both sides. I can say, here's some pluses, here's some minuses. Let's look at this. What do we think? I would make a recommendation to her, and then she would either, approve or disapprove. She always has final say. I did recommend that Mike would come back. She did agree. But we met, extensively about a day ago. So. No. I met with Mike a couple times, and I met with Dr. Natalicio, Richard Dalto by myself. Well, I think she's very pleased with Mike. I think that she really likes Mike. I mean, she understands what Mike's done for the university. Again, he's brought credibility. He's very warm and he's great with the people in the community. I mean, I can tell you right now, he's still the #1 sports figure here in town. You walk any place into a restaurant right there, everybody wants to talk to him. They want his autograph. They want, he's still the most prevalent sports figure here in town, and that's because of his personality, the way he is with people. And dealing with the media, how he's never tried to feed you the basic lines. He's always been honest to you and tells you, exactly where it is, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. He's not afraid to take responsibility. Well, I've had a couple of emails that say, it's time for a change. We need to move on. Certainly, you're going to get that. I mean, certainly, but really, with some of the not only major boosters, but some of the just regular fans, I probably had 10 voicemails of people that say, don't get rid of Coach Price. He's the best guy we've had. We really like him, and they weren't high donors. We tried to talk to more than just big donors. Well, I'm just saying that, we evaluate the situation, and we really feel the continuity of moving forward with the program with our coaches. The best thing to move forward is with what we're doing right now with Coach Price. Finances are always part of it, but ultimately that wasn't the decision maker. When you do make a change, it's expensive, very expensive. prices on coaches have gone up dramatically, especially at the BCS level. You take Washington State, who was paying their last coach $600,000. Well, they got their new TV contract that went from I think $6 million to $21 million, and all of a sudden Mike Leach gets a $2.5 million salary compared to the $600,000 he had before. So I mean, finances to a certain degree, but it really wasn't the deciding factor. It's always expensive to make changes. Any other questions for me? And I'll just let Mike. Questions. Well, you can ask him. Yeah, you can ask him. He may tell you something different than me. Go tomorrow.
Well, it's nice to see this many people here for the press conference without pizza.
One other thing, Coach Floyd was over with the faculty at the luncheon, and he was glad to see that I was renewing the contract with Mike for the fact that he was now 1-4 with the coaching.
But I want to, express my appreciation to Dr. Natalicio and Richard Adalto and of course Bob and during this time of where contracts are not being honored and on both sides contracts at some places are meaningless, and it's nice to be involved with a university that has credibility and loyalty, and loyalty is a good thing, not a bad thing. Every year when we play New Mexico State, I always talk about sportsmanship. It's like that's the only time players ever hear anything about sportsmanship or we ever talk about it. It's the New Mexico State game, and it's the same thing with loyalty. I just feel wonderful that I have this opportunity, and it was something that I thought about as far as evaluating my performance. And I talked with Bob about that. I talked about the assistant coaches about that. I talked with our team, every player on the team, and met individually with the seniors and talked with them during this last few days. And it just keeps coming back that I like what I'm doing. If there was any doubt about apathy, and people talk about having a little fan apathy or anything like that, well, I don't feel it in this stadium. It's not full, maybe, but I certainly don't feel the fans are apathetic toward our football team. They're pretty excited, and even when we came up short, the importance of our last couple of games, our players, heck yes, we know it's important. We're not apathetic to anything. And you have to probably be in the locker room before the game or the locker room at Central Florida or in the locker room after the game to feel just how important these last few games were. We came up short, yes, no question about that. But the effort was there, the want was there, and it's just that we didn't play as good a football as we think we're capable of, and we had to play, to a better level than we played at. So I'm really excited to be here. I appreciate all the phone calls and support and emails and text messages, and I used to say letters, but we don't do that anymore, I guess. So you're not going to get a note back from me real quick. It takes me longer to text message you than it does write a note. But I sure have a lot of feel wonderful about this community and this university, and can't wait till Christmas is over so we can get back together with the team, and we're doing a good job academically, socially. Our players are, and got a lot of real good players coming back. 8 returning starters on defense, 8 returning starters on offense, 16 guys who are first-year players, 13 on defense, 16 on offense that are coming back, and 3 quarterbacks that started and all played well, all 3 quarterbacks, and 2 of our best receivers are coming back, 4 really good tight ends. A whole offensive line is coming back except 1 player. So we've got a lot to look forward to, and that's what I'm looking forward to is the future. Okay, how about some questions? Well, we're going to win as many games as we possibly can. I know it. You are not going to trap me into that. And I'm not going to tell you which games I expect to lose or win. We plan to win every game that we play. I'm not sure about our schedule because, that hasn't been, well, it looks like we're going to be playing mostly a Conference USA schedule, except for Wisconsin, Ole Miss, and New Mexico State. So we still have 1 opening on our schedule, but with the possible new league, everything isn't set right now.
Yeah, one thing, remember, there's transition.
Yeah.
There's transition in league that's happening right now. That again, the Mountain West and Conference USA are basically merging. The initial thought was football only, but it's moving more towards all sports at this point. It will be done by end of this year. That there was a 90-day window that we thought we could even get transitioned to next year, but right now what's happening is all those people talking about going to the Big East. There's been a lot of obviously issues on that happening, so we don't really know who's in and who's out at this point. But I can tell you that merger will happen with the Mountain West, unless something really dramatic happens. We will do that, and there's a fairly good chance that we'll be playing a lot back into the West side, rather, especially if we lose SMU and Houston to the Big East. If they go there, then obviously most of the Texas schools are gone, and it makes a lot of sense for us to play in New Mexico, Las Vegas, etc. So, but that's still speculative and in process.
Okay. No, we didn't talk about an extension at all. I just reevaluated my performance and what I wanted, and to make sure that I have the energy and enthusiasm to continue to do this, and the want to, and I have the staff that wants to be right there with me, and the team that wants to be there with me. So there was no doubt about that, and everything that was, I didn't have anybody come up and say, kick my truck or anything like that. So the only information, and the only time people say something to your face is good. We want you back, coach. We want you back. So I am back. Good to be seen. Well, right now, the way that, like Bob addressed it, the way that contracts are and what's going on in other universities, there's no guarantee to any young man. We were just talking about that this morning. We were recruiting a quarterback after Ben Roethlisberger, and he signed with Miami of Ohio, and it was between us and Miami of Ohio to get him, and he was real good. He ended up going to Miami of Ohio, and the coach, after he signed the letter of intent, ended up leaving the school and going to a better job at Indiana. So it's not. When we look at it, I was 8 years at Weber State. I was 14 years at Washington State, actually 21 years altogether, and this is my 9th year. So I've got a track record of fulfilling contracts and staying with places, and so that's what it's based on. But a lot of times they'll build a relationship with an assistant coach, and then boom, all of a sudden he's gone to a more improved job. But that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Right now, we've got 18 scholarships available and 16 commits, and that has not changed this weekend or after the last game. We've contacted all of our commitments, and they're all still committed, and only got about 3 or 4 more student athletes coming in December, and then we're done. We might have one in January, but it just depends on how they finish their high school. But it hasn't seemed to affect us one bit. I think what will affect us even more is all the other schools that are out there with new staffs coming in are going to affect us a lot more. It's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a question. Right. I think you just look at our history, my history, and what's happened, and then all the new guys. You know, it's one side of the story versus the other side of the story. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all.
Yeah, one thing too. I mean, when you look at it, like Mike said, whether people are being fired or they're leaving for other jobs, when the guys look at it, the thing I would like to know right now is recruiting going to be there next year, because again, whether they sign a contract extension or not, if next year he doesn't want to coach or I don't think he's performing well, whether he signed one or not, then he won't be here. If he wins 12 games and the Green Bay Packers offer him a job, he may not be here. And so again, we just didn't feel like that was an issue at this time. His rest of his contract. Next year we'll talk about, do you want to do 3 years, 5 years? Do you want to stop? And we can do that. But at this point, again, look at the national, what's happening, that really doesn't make a difference at this point.
By the way, Green Bay hasn't called. They're having a pretty good year themselves. You know, I asked staff that today. We might have 1 or 2, but I'm really pleased at the coaching staff that we have now. We have over 140 years of collegiate coaching experience, and I thought our coaches did a wonderful job the entire year in developing our players. And that's what we're doing. We're developing these young players and getting much better. Our defense is better than it was a year ago. Our offensive line, brand new, is better than it was a year ago. Every position, and gosh, our tight ends are tremendous future prospects, all 4 of them. So we and everyone really likes El Paso on our staff. There's no one that doesn't want to live here. Nobody. Everyone loves it here. And yes, will somebody come in and cherry pick one of our assistant coaches with these job opportunities? It's possible. Right now, we're 100%. No, I'm not considering any moves that way. We're going to look at everything we're doing. We're going to change some things that we're doing. There's no question about that. Nothing stays the same. Our team is the same team it was, and it was going to be different next year too. So nothing stays the same. You either get better or worse. We plan on getting better. Oh, Eric Price. Oh yeah, he would love to come back, and he's out of work right now, and so he could. There's some landscaping around here that we could help him out with on the Glory Road Field or something like that. But yeah, I bet you could ask a lot of former assistant coaches if they'd be interested in coming back, and they would be. Well, I don't know about that right now. We'd have to see, but I'm not looking. We're not discussing that. Yeah. Well, we certainly have had opportunities, haven't we? We had to go in there and drop the ball after the first 3 seasons, and we've come close before. It's a very, very competitive business, and our goal has not changed one bit. We're not satisfied with being 5-7 at all. We are interested in winning the championship and going to a bowl game and having a winning season. That has not changed one bit. And our dedication and our enthusiasm and energy to reach that is the very, very same. And we've got some really good players coming back. We're going to play exciting football. We're going to win. And the fans that come to the games and watch the games this year, even if they were down a little bit, were not apathetic. They were fired up. It sounded like it to me. And coming out at halftime and coming out before the game and talking to people after the games, they saw some good football and saw us improve. Yeah. Do I see leadership coming from this team like we had this last year? I think we were fortunate last year. We had, just in our captains alone, we had 4 captains that were just did a great job in leadership and kept our younger players on track the right way. That's gonna hold over and continue. I know that. Got a few players today here that if you wanted to talk to and ask them about that, I'm sure they would. They're really ready. So we had really good senior leadership, but we had leadership all the way down to brand new players that were in our program that have only been here 6 months, stepped up, did the right thing, and showed leadership. So I don't think leadership is going to be a problem at all. I'm very excited about that part of this team. No, I'll say goodbye at the end of this press conference, but I don't think it's a farewell. All right, we're not going to sing "All Lang Syne" or anything like that. But no, I'm as long as I feel the way I do right now about the profession, I think you have to reevaluate that every year. But man, there's no doubt that I wanted to come back and coach this year. No doubt about that at all. With anybody in our program. Well, yeah, I'm not stupid, you know. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. Yeah, we got a good team coming back. Yeah, so you know you want to come back when you have a good team. So, and I haven't finished what I came here to do. We haven't finished what we came here to do. We've come close a couple of years, but we haven't finished it. And sooner or later, it's going to end. It's going to be later. It's not going to be sooner. I think UTEP is a real special place, and I think our administration is real special. And there's not many communities like this to live in. I'm telling you, our attendance was down, but and there's people complaining about it and has their different feelings about it than I do. But that's fine. At least they're interested. At least they're interested, and the people that come here are positive, and our players know that and feel it. So it's a neat place to live and a great university to coach at. No, I wasn't. I was basically because of the ability to communicate with the administration. Some of these jobs that have come open, guys are just like whack. I'm at UCLA and could be in the Rose Bowl and I'm getting fired. And there's other universities, guys there 2 years, boom, he's out, boom, like that. And there's some not even a phone call. So no, if our relationship isn't just a one-time meeting, it's a communication with Dr. Natalicio, Richard Adalto, and Bob. And if there's something going on that they don't like, they don't hesitate to express it, and we work together on finding the solution. Well, I don't know if there's anything that I can say right now that's going to turn on the fan that's turned off right now. It's a gradual loss, and it could be a gradual start. But just know that I'm going to be there with plenty of energy. Our team's going to be there with plenty of energy, plenty of enthusiasm, and a winning championship attitude. And we're not going to let anything deter us from that. And if you don't come to the game, you're going to miss out. Nope. No, next year will be next year. I was probably would like to lose a few pounds. Okay, Jeff.